I haven't recorded it.
Yeah, you just press play on that.
Remember to give me the clap.
Alright, just clap just once. You got it? Awesome. What's going on, folks? Welcome to the Lemonade Podcast. I'm your host, Frank. Here at the Lemonade Podcast, we go by the saying, when life gives you lemons, we make lemonade. And we pour it onto the world. And with that, we hope to encourage, inspire, and empower those of you tuning in. Also, our guests themselves. And today's guest is Optimus Volts.
Thank you for the invite. Oh, yeah.
Yes, sir.
I love that lemonade.
Awesome. Yeah. Thank you for being here. Thank you for having us here at your studio here in Barrio Logan. Real quick, if you want to just put out the address of your studio so that people know.
Oh, yeah. It's 2151 Logan Avenue. It's in the Art Hub. Make sure you guys follow the Art Hub. It's social media, of course.
Yep.
We're here in the gorgeous historical Barrio Logan district, right next to Chicano Park.
Yep.
Right across Por Vida Coffee Shop.
Yep.
So grab yourself a coffee, come on by, check out my studio.
Yeah. And if you stop by Barrio Logan, like you said, check out the arts at Chicano Park, and then go to Por Vida. I recommend the mazapan latte. It's one of my favorites. It's actually the only one I get, but it has little chunks of mazapan in it, and I love it.
Yeah.
So anyways, Optimus Volts here. You have us in your studio. It's wonderful. I love all your art. I actually found, you know what? I don't want to say I found you through anyone. You just popped up on my IG. And then I said, hey, the mask is what really got me. It reminded me of the Lucha Libre days, growing up, watching El Blue Demon. You know what I mean?
El Santo, Mil Máscara.
Yeah. What was it? Tinieblas, right?
Yeah.
Like Peluchin, like all
That's the best, the little midget.
Yeah, exactly. Like all those guys, and in the wrestling where they were so like just bizarre craziness. The mask. Now, real quick, do people in the art world, or maybe the people that commission you and whatnot, have they seen you without the mask?
Of course.
Okay, cool. Just making sure. Yeah.
The guy with the mask is Optimus Volts.
Yes.
The guy without the mask
Yes.
is Isaac Coronado. Just a regular, basic guy.
Got it. Okay. Cool. What made you go with the mask?
It started when I started doing some art shows here in Barrio Logan.
Okay.
I wanted to be different, and I had the iconic to be like, well, I need to have a name, an art name. And the reason it's Optimus Volts, Optimus is my homage to Optimus Prime.
Yes.
I'm a big Transformer fan.
Yeah.
You can see it around my studio.
Yeah.
I have tattoos.
Okay. Dope.
The Autobots I have, and Optimus Prime right here.
All right, there you go.
So that growing up in the 80s, Optimus Prime is very intuitive in my mind.
Yeah.
But I also grew up in the graffiti world where I had street name.
Yep.
Also a little bit hanging out with the wrong crowd in the 80s.
Okay.
Growing up in San Isidro. So I did have a name, and it was Volts. So when I wanted to transition my street art to the gallery scene, I said I have to change. So I metamorphosed, changing from Optimus Prime, because they do change from car vehicle to a humanoid robot.
Right. Yeah.
So then I said Optimus Volts. I was like, boom, it just get there. And then I created the logo. I did everything. Social media, everything that you have to brand yourself.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
And that's how it started. The reason with the mask, I grew up as well watching cartoons. What came out at around 12, about 12, 1 o'clock in the afternoon, Lucha Libre.
Yeah.
After all the cartoons were done Saturday morning, you had to watch the Lucha Libres.
Yeah,
and I mean, my first time was watching it with my dad. It was like, wow, who's this? What is this guy wearing a mask?
Right.
And it's like all these iconic characters, especially Santo, Blue Demon, the traditional Mil Máscaras. And I would ask my dad, why is it who's this? You know? And they're known to be like our superheroes.
Yeah, no, for real.
You know,
Yeah.
they're our superheroes. They were jumping,
Definitely.
flying.
Yeah, they're really acrobatic when it comes
Yeah.
to what they do. It's not. I don't know. It was nothing like I had ever seen. You know, growing up, and you just see them flying, like you said, flying everywhere. The moves that they do, and like there's just real athletic and acrobatic. Like I said, it's really fun to watch. I've never seen an actual like live one. Have you ever been to?
Yeah,
a live?
I've been down to Tijuana and one in Jalisco also, and it's amazing just to see it live. I mean, just it's so. You want to root, of course, for the good guys always, but there's some cool bad guys as well.
There's always yeah. I feel like there's also the nostalgia, like you know, you said growing up, because it goes from generations. You know, even traditionally, I would say even with the masks and stuff, it maybe reminds them of something that they saw growing up. Not necessarily in Lucha Libre, but you know, just in the communities and whatnot, just because of the culture.
Yeah, it's our culture.
Right.
It's embedded in our system.
Yeah.
It's also embedded in our system is us wearing masks. It's part of our Aztec culture, our indigenous culture.
And that's what I would, you know, pointing at is that, you know, your folks growing up with that, it was in the culture, you know, in the arts, within the culture. And then as we, you know, go on to Lucha Libre, they took it upon them to wear that, you know, those colors, warrior colors and masks and whatnot, you know. But yeah, there's a nostalgia to it. You know, like I said, for me growing up, watching the black and white, you know, Santo, you know,
The movie star.
the movies are, you're like, oh, it's so dramatic. And it was crazy to watch, you know, a luchador on the screen, you know, on these guys and stuff, even sitcoms like, you know, Peluchin and Tinieblas, right?
Yeah.
Where we're in, oh man, what was the name of that show?
Was it with Capulina?
Capulina. Right, there you go. Yeah. Oh, also, real quick, shout out to all the 80s babies. Yeah, they may know what we're talking about. But yeah, I mean, even with Transformers, huge, you know. I was 82, so I think 87 when the Ninja Turtles came out.
Yes, your era, yeah.
Yeah, I was already, you know. But I remember the Transformers, He-Man, you know, all those characters and stuff like
Joe, GoBots, all these other,
Matt loves G.I. Joes. I'm gonna say that. I don't think he'll agree.
I was TNT.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. That's right.
Because he's military. I'm military. It was, and something about the jokes, the puns and those things, and people made on YouTube. But I digress. But yeah, so back to your mask. Was there a certain reason why the pattern to your mask? Did you come up with that, or
it's my logo?
Gotcha. Okay.
And it's part of, you know, marketing yourself, your own identity. When I first started, I did use a traditional, you know, either a santo or a mil máscaras, you know, just or whatever. But I said I need to make my own.
Okay.
And I did. I made my own, but I was not like a seamstress or, you know, like didn't know how to sew right.
Right.
So I finally got the courage to contact a real luchador mask maker in Mexico.
Oh, nice. All right, that's dope. Yeah.
I Googled, I emailed people, and then they always send this guy. Oh, boom.
Okay, so there's someone
unfortunately, I can't remember the name right now because it's been like more than 7 years ago. And I emailed them and say, hey, I really want a custom mask. I send them my logo, and then he said, yeah, I can do it. And then in Spanish, of course, and he sent me like specific instructions how to measure my head.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah,
I mean, this one is legit.
It fits you right.
It's breathable. I'm not hot in it. I can breathe good.
Yeah,
I don't have to be like. You know.
Right. You're like huffing and puffing. Question: have you ever wrestled in it?
Ooh. Maybe in the bedroom.
Oh shit! There it is. We'll leave down for an episode.
Camellia.
Hey, he's coming. Oh, that's dope. No. Yeah, I mean, I have to ask, you know, because the culture and stuff. But I know Mike. I mean, shoot, we all grew up watching WWF.
WWF.
I would say WWF, then WWE, all that stuff.
I grew up. I watched Hulk Hogan, Junkyard Dog, Roddy Piper. That's my era.
Yeah.
You know,
Hacksaw Jim Duggan.
Yeah, all that stuff.
Ultimate Warrior and
Ultimate Warrior and stuff.
I don't know. Then we transitioned into the newer ones. I feel like I was part of that too because I got into wrestling a little bit later. and then you saw like The Rock come in and
Yeah.
Triple H. Yeah, Stone Cold. Yeah, give me hell yeah. You know what I mean? So, but all those, yeah, it was that that culture of that wrestling culture. You know,
Yeah,
just kept going, stuff like that,
it's. I mean, I know. I mean, when I first, it's fake.
Yeah, how dare you?
You know, like, what? They can't fly.
Right. I mean, here's the thing, though.
Beat up.
You know, they look like real moves. Yeah, they hit that mat real hard.
As a kid, I believed it as a kid.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
You know, it brought my attention. Like, what's going on? Why is? What's you know?
And like you said, you know, it boils down to that whole thing of, hey, these are our superheroes. You know, they're real. You get to see them if you had the opportunity to do so. Meet them, if anything. You got to wear their colors. You got to wear their capes, their masks.
Oh,
you got to be, you know, that superhero even for a little bit.
I remember getting that little. Even though it was cheap, you know, very cheap looking.
The action figures?
From Mexico.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Even though it was
like really hard wax.
Yeah, like a messed up mold or something, but it was like cool. I have a Santos figure, you know, Blue Demo figure. And I remember every time I go to Mexico, let me buy another one that I don't have.
You have the whole collection, and then you get the ring, and then you just start.
Oh yeah, the ring too, made of nails and rubber bands.
This is before the internet. You know, we had this. We had these rings that we made ourselves, and these these figures, and we just play there for hours. Yeah, it was entertainment. But yeah, it was definitely something like you said. You know, as the culture transcends within, your background. Your parents, and then so on and so forth. Your dad was watching it, and now. I don't know if you have kids or your own family. Like, hey, we sit and watch something, and you share that what you grew up with.
Yeah, of course. Everything that we grew up, it's part of us.
Oh, definitely. It makes us.
If you see my art,
yep,
this is my life.
Yeah.
You see comic books because I grew up with comics, baseball, Dia de los Muertos, growing up in the family, just being. What's this? What's that? Ask about our culture.
No, definitely.
And stuff.
I feel like all of what you just said. From one, like I said, the superhero aspect of it. You grow up and become that, and I say that because it's like this. You are doing what you love. You are going after yours, and which is something that we really preach here. We push it. We're like, hey, if you find something that you love, go after it, keep pushing. And I remember talking to Jess, who had her studio here. She was going after her. She became in a sense a role model, to my daughter. She was an artist, a Latina, a female. She was doing her thing, and I'm like, you represent that, almost like a hero, a role model, someone. And for us here with at the Lemonade Podcast, the whole Lemonade movement, we encourage folks to, hey, go after yours. And with what you're doing, you take the culture, as you grew up with it, the nostalgia even within that, everything you love, everything that made you in a sense, right? And you go after it, you keep pushing it, but you also become almost this example to those around you,
of course,
to your family. You know what I mean? Anybody that's around, and I think that with artists, going after theirs, really pursuing something that they love, that really burns a fire within. You know what I mean? It allows for other people to look at them and be like, okay, I think I can do that too, or whatever it is they want to go after. So. You got the mask. How did you get into? I know you said you got the graffiti part, and you actually did graffiti growing up.
Yes, right, I did.
Okay. And that was Volts, right? You're
in the 80s, late 90s.
Nice. Okay.
And then grew up, had to grow up a little bit, and I mean art. It's always been in me, and I had to. Changed my style of art many times just to see what I felt inside.
Gotcha.
And the graffiti was disowned. They're not well liked by people.
Not how it is now.
Yeah,
Today
now it's street art.
Embraced. Yeah, and I love it. I tell people this. Hip hop was my first love. One of the elements of hip hop is graffiti. And growing up, people watching, doing these murals and just the intricacy and things. I have my daughter's name tattooed in Wild Style.
Oh,
actually, I have two tattoos, Wild Style, because of that. Because of I took what I grew up with.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The things that I love and the things that made me. Like, I feel like hip hop really molded me.
Of course.
If you use things in a positive way, right? But just the art that I got to see within, like the graffiti art in hip hop, I was really intrigued by it and I loved it. So I was like, let me put some on me. But yeah, it was great. So then you have your influence from the 80s, the Transformers, you have your graffiti background, you blended it, made it what it is today. How did you get into, drawing what you do on, let's say, a trading card?
That was me as a kid collecting cards.
Okay.
I had, if you guys... I was a big card collector from the 80s to the probably late 90s. And there was a card boom era around that time in the 90s, especially from 89 to 90, probably 98. They call it the junk wax era.
Okay.
And during that time, I actually, from 90 to 95. If you guys ever been in San Isidro, I used to have my own card shop.
Oh, dope. Okay.
In Barrio Boulevard.
What was it called?
Isaac Sports Cards.
Isaac Sports Cards?
It was next to La Bodeguita Market, right by Monte Carmelo.
Okay.
There's these buildings, commercial buildings, next to the 7-Eleven.
Okay.
And I used to have my shop there for many years until the card market crashed.
Yeah. Okay.
The crash. And I was like, well, sell stuff off. And then I decided to go to school.
Okay. Nice.
And then continue there. But all these cards were just sitting in my closet collecting dust.
Yeah.
And about year 2000, 2002 probably, I started grabbing them and just painting on them.
Dope. Okay. Yeah.
And I was just putting whatever, like, how as we were little kids, we used to put like mustaches or those weird names on it and stuff like that. There's actually an artist that does that now. He's been around, but he was more like as a joke type of thing.
Gotcha.
But I was using acrylic paint and I was changing the faces, making them into superheroes or whatever. Like I remember early on, I did like turn them into like a Venom character and then stuff
That's
like
dope.
that.
Yeah. Because I, along with the Lucha Libre, you had comic books. I collected comic cards. The trading cards. I'm a Marvel guy.
So it's probably either been Marvel from Impel or Marvel Masterpiece.
Marvel Masterpieces I collected. I love the way they looked like paintings.
They were
paintings. It didn't look like right. And it wasn't like your regular comic book, drawings. It was like a legit painting.
It looks like art.
It did. I loved it. I collected so many. Yes, I'm nerding out right now. but they were incredible, and I wish that I still had that collection. Later on, I actually collected the later later series, but I loved having all that. What I grew up watching X-Men. X-Men's my thing. I don't do anything else besides X-Men. People ask me about Guardian.
Well, this one that's above us, it's the opening scene of the 90s X-Men TV show.
Yeah, the Night of the Sentinels. Yeah, I remember. Night of the Sentinels was the first.
He was coming up and grabbing them.
Yeah.
And he's I put myself there. You can see me in the mask about to get grabbed by the Sentinel.
Yeah. I remember that episode. Yeah.
Yeah, I did this painting, probably 2013 maybe or 12. I did a show with some local legends, Ricardo Islas and Chicle. You probably guys heard of him. He's been heavy in the Chula Vista scene right now, especially like in the breweries and stuff.
Okay, yeah. Mike, he's heard of him.
Yeah. Chicle.
Yeah. Well, shout out to Chicle.
Yeah, Chicle and Ricardo Islas.
Yeah.
Big ups. They helped me get into the art scene. in the Barrio Logan art scene back in the 2012, I believe was the first time Chicle was making art shows.
Nice. All right.
He saw my work and gave me a chance.
I love that. No, I mean, it's artists just helping artists, like, because they understand, like, you know, the process, you know, of going through it. And maybe sometimes people close doors where you should be opening them because, the inspiration that comes from other artists is phenomenal. You know, me doing what I'm doing now, you know, I'm a photographer, so I get encouraged by everyone that's comes on because I see them and it reminds me, like, hey, bro, like, you remember where you started? See how far you've come? And for me to have people on that are either starting, you know, or they're not just as big. And we don't have the biggest platform, you know, but we're there. And I made this for people like you.
Thank you.
You know,
Thank
to
you.
be able to be like, hey, check this guy out or check so-and-so out. They got some pretty dope stuff. And if you haven't heard of it, we're trying to bring it out even more. You know what I'm saying?
I agree with what you're saying. That's why myself, I pay it forward to artists as well.
Yeah.
By me, I became an art curator as well, and I do art shows at Bar Basic Pizza in downtown.
There you go.
That's the main one that I did. They let me host an event there on Wednesday nights. It's once or twice a month I do a show there.
Okay.
Then there's a new place that they're giving me a chance to showcase work there for other artists and giving them a chance. It's the Soap Factory.
Yeah, the Soap Factory. Yeah, that's actually where I went. I went to one of your shows.
It was my solo show, guys.
Was that your first solo show?
No, no. Actually it's the first since COVID. You know.
There you
the
go.
last one was 2019 at the. It was at Sparks Gallery in downtown San Diego.
Gotcha. Yeah.
And that was an accomplishment. That if you ever been to that gallery, it's in downtown San Diego. One of my favorite, most beautiful galleries.
Dope. All right.
And stuff.
Yeah.
But of course, the COVID 2020, 2019, no solo shows, no shows at all.
Yeah.
So I said I gotta have my solo show.
Yeah, no, you have to. I mean, you have to keep, like you said, your brand, your art. Just put it out there. I mean, I went. I don't think I've ever been to like a show like that. Just in general, I need to get out more for one. But yeah, just going there, seeing the people supporting. You had, different shows and whatnot, but you were there. You know, I got to meet you there. I introduced myself, show face, and saw your art for the first time live. Like it's different when you see it live.
Of course.
Anything live,
and then in a different atmosphere, like sort of like a warehouse / gallery / venue. Like you know, you were there, Soap Factory, just to see how I made those floating walls.
I love that. Yeah,
I had my famous throne there, the couch. Red couch that everybody will love. We're taking photographs with it. Yeah. I had local vendors of some art friends that I give them a chance to, because it's my solo show, you guys can show some of your...
No, definitely. And that's the support. Once again, you're showing support, you're showing love, you're showing encouragement to people. Like, hey, man, let's all collaborate instead of like, hey, nah, man, you're in my space. And, I feel like as an artist, it could be difficult to allow other people in your space. But the beauty in allowing people in your space is that you get to learn more, but you also get to give these people, like you said, pay forward. Yeah. And I love that, So how did you get into the comic book part?
I mean, as well, as a collector, I had growing up as well, collecting comics, enjoying that superhero thing. Yeah. And I was like, have all these comic books, and for some reason I want to paint on it. Okay. And I probably did it like maybe 5 years ago. I just started painting on top of it. Gotcha. I love San Diego Comic Con. I love going to the comic conventions. I love meeting the artist, talking to them, like seeing what they do and then how they work, because it's not just one artist that does this one comic. Right. It's multiple. Yeah, there's a guy that draws it, then the colorist, then there's the inker, there's the writer, there's there's all these people working together to create one thing. Right. Yeah. So I always wanted to be like, damn, I can't wait. I want to do my own variant cover. Right. Do my own covers. So I started. That's what I did.
And become part of the team in a sense. Yeah, but it's like, and you add your twist to it, and I love it. I love this one. It's super
Yeah,
dope.
it's the Phoenix, you know, kind of like X-Men. There's Wolverine.
Yep, I see him. There's Colossus.
Yeah.
Storm.
That, yeah. And I believe that's Nightcrawler.
Oh, there he is, yeah.
Could be Rogue and stuff. Not sure who that is, but
one of those guys. Yeah. No, but I'm a fan. Like I said, the comic book stuff, the X-Men stuff. I'm huge on it. I love seeing the sports stuff too. I'm not hugely into sports, but the fact that you made it, you know, a little more appealing for me.
Dia de los Muertos.
Yeah, no, definitely, I love it. You got Kobe.
Yeah,
Star
Kobe.
Wars stuff. Yeah, man. I know Stan Lee.
Actually,
yeah,
it's actually signed by Stan Lee too.
That's beautiful.
I had the opportunity to do a project with him
Meet the
when
man
he was
himself.
alive. Yeah, I met him.
Yeah.
I met him to
dope.
my best friend Jerry Blank.
Jerry Blank.
You know,
there you go.
He used to work for Stan Lee Collectibles, the company that Stan Lee owned before he passed away. So I got a chance to meet him a couple times and stuff like that.
Has there been any I want to say maybe roadblocks or any challenges you've had?
Of course.
Yeah.
There's always been.
Would you like to share?
You know what you were saying. Life does give us lemons.
Yeah.
And it's like some of these, like my major artwork is the sculpture work. Mm-hmm. They'll probably show you some photographs of it. That's what I'm really known for in the gallery world.
Oh, okay.
Because they're made out of spray cans and wood and stuff.
Yeah, I love it.
That actually was a negative that I turned it into a positive.
Okay.
You know, I was mad and very aggressive where I ripped the cans because to release my anger, I was ripping them, breaking into pieces.
Yep.
And for some reason, I started putting them into a canvas when I first started this in 98.
Okay.
That's the year when I first did this style. And I was so angry and I turned it in, and then all that anger went into this canvas with this broken up spray cans and art and paint with it that's still in there.
Yeah, you channeled it.
And,
you know,
and then I made lemonade.
There you go. Yeah, and that was your lemonade. And I love it. You know, taking even once again the cans, which brings you back to your, graffiti days. Yeah, it's still all mended into your art. You take that stuff from back then, you bring it forward and continue on with with your own growth. You know what I mean? Yeah, like you said, you took that pain, anger, whatever it may be at the time. And you just said, "Look, I'm gonna make something," and we love it. I'm a big fan. It's incredible.
Thank you.
I have to sit there and really look at it because there's so many details to it that you may miss.
Yeah, there's some
right away. You're like,
hidden
oh,
stuff
that looks
in
cool.
there.
Oh, wait, hold on. And then you keep looking closer. It's amazing. Yeah. I can tell like the little figurines. I mean, the first is the big skull, and then it's like, oh, you hone in. Oh, there's the little figurines, and then you have the spray cans, like you said, with the part and whatnot. Man, it's so dope. It's good stuff.
No,
man.
thank you. But I mean, as you know, life does give you multiple lemons. And,
it does,
and I mean, it's not easy. Sometimes we fall into a lot of depression and people not liking your work, even family, like, oh, why are you doing cosas parecen demonios? Why don't you paint like religious figures?
Yeah, I mean, you could.
Yeah, I could, but it was not what I wanted to do.
Exactly, it's not what.
Not having 100% support sometimes, even with financial support, and I had to figure out ways to do it. Even if after I worked a 13-hour job or something, and for me to relax, I was drawing, painting, and I would focus my energy on that, and turning that negative energy that I had into positive.
No, definitely, I mean, that's exactly what we preach here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Take your lemons, make lemonade with it, and you pour it onto the world, as we say, and it's beautiful. It shows a lot of your history. Like I said, not only within the culture and in this historic place, Barrio Logan, but your history just as Optimus Volts, Isaac.
Yes.
You know what I mean? With the beginning of Lucha Libre back in the days and your graffiti background, you know, now you see it fast forward and here we are. And you got to take all those lemons that were handed to you, unfortunately, you know, but it is what it is. And you got to hone it and channel it in a way that some people may not be able to. And like I said before, it's an inspiration to others. I hope it is, you know.
Of course.
If you can. And I love the fact that, like you said, you try to pay forward because you know how tough it can be. And you also knew that there's people out there that helped you out. You know,
of course. And I thank everybody that has supported me. Mentally, physically, in any way. I mean, it's not easy to be an artist. You know, it's hard.
Definitely, yeah.
You know, it's like sometimes we might need to grab our lemons and have someone else help us squeeze them.
Yeah. No, definitely. You know? And to have a community to help build that community is important as artists because we know what the future, you know, artists will go through. And it's like, look, don't get into your feelings too much because it's gonna happen, but just keep making what you're making and it'll eventually, you know, hit that new level, if I may say, you know. Matt, we got a question for him today. Here we go.
What's up, Matt?
Hey,
you want to wrestle? That's that what it is?
Probably lose.
I'd pay to see that. I think we all pay for that.
If somebody served you a hot dog taco, but you could only put one condiment on it, would it be ketchup or taco sauce?
Ooh. As a matter of fact.
Here we go.
We lived through many occasions where we're low on funds, no?
Yes.
Okay. And
I have a story about
we have tortillas always in our refrigerator. And what? We want a hot dog. We don't have the bun. So we get a tortilla.
There you go.
And we make a hot dog out of a tortilla. And I did put ketchup.
Okay.
And stuff.
You went with ketchup. All right.
I went with ketchup because it's a hot dog.
Yeah, we talk about history. We talk about your history here, and you know your beginnings. You're growing up, and I feel like with that story there, growing up, you know, unfortunately you didn't have the many funds, and you got to make what you got to make, and I feel like all of that had you ready for this question today from Matt. You know what I mean? So you were already ready for this.
Hell yeah, man. I mean, I grew up just eating mayonesa sandwiches.
There you go.
You know, mayonnaise and 2 breads. That's it. No cheese.
Okay. I know Mike's got a story about me.
What's up, Mike?
Mike has a story.
What did he eat?
Mike, do you remember how we didn't have much for one? I think you might be able to hear it, but you might be able to talk into that one.
Oh, okay. You're talking about the
onions and
onion, jalapeno, and tomato.
Yeah.
You cook it in a
saute that. I think right.
You're cooking like a whole stick of butter.
Yeah.
A whole stick.
A whole
whole
stick.
stick of butter.
Yeah,
with
that's
onion, jalapenos, and tomatoes. And we just make tacos out of it.
There you go.
Oh,
it's
snap.
Really, it was almost like vegetarian.
Yeah.
You got the protein from the butter, the vegetables.
You're like, I guess we're vegan now. We're vegan now.
Oh yeah. But that's what we had, and that's what we made. You know, and gladly we're able to afford a little bit more nowadays. But you know, you remember your humble beginnings, and you try not to forget that because once again, you remember how far you've come. Just alone the show here when we started, it was we still shoot it out of my apartment, but we have a flow now and we have a team and we have a following and people that are, you know, wanting to be on and I never didn't not see it like this. You know what I mean? It wasn't a doubt, and I love that I was able to have this vision. Not for me, but for the people that I said I could have these people on and have them share the story. Not only like, hey, tell me about your art. It's like, no, tell me about your beginning. How did you start? Because there's people out there right now who are there with the finances are low maybe, but they have something, you know, their motivation is there. They need a little bit more fire or fuel for the fire. Hey, we're listening to Optimus Volts today. I love his story. I've seen his art. I want to be like him. I want to be something like that. I want to continue the tradition of, you know, whatever maybe that they grew up with. And they continue to make the art. And eventually one day you get to afford a little bit more than just tortillas and tomato and mayo sandwiches. But at the end of the day, you keep going after yours. You keep doing what you're doing. and you get to become an Optimus Volts. You know what I'm saying? So thank you again for having us here at your studio, for your time, for your energy, for your story, and to that we toast to you. And I don't know if you want to reveal the man behind the mask.
Well,
here it comes. Thor.
Thank you for having me.
Yes.
Thank you, and for everything you guys are doing, because you are showing the world that I am a regular person, and you got to see who I really am.
Yeah, not just
and
a superhero,
cheers.
but cheers again.
Let's get that lemonade.
Let's do it. Ooh, this one's a little tart. You know what it is? We didn't bring ice, and ice usually melts. Yeah. You're more than welcome if you want to take it off.
Stuff.
But you guys want to see Isaac Coronado?
There he is. There's the man himself. Yeah, no, but thank you for having us here, for doing this thing. Sorry we were a little late. Real quick, just before I forget, your social media.
Cool. My social media is more IG. It's Optimus Volts. It's pretty simple. You're gonna see just type in Optimus and you put a V, you're gonna see my face. Beautiful face with a mask on.
There you go.
I have a Twitter account, same thing.
Yep.
I haven't really dove that much on TikTok. It's just a little bit not me yet.
Yeah.
I have a website, optimusvolts.com.
Perfect.
But the most important, come visit me at the Art Hub in Barrio Logan. It's pretty simple. It's right across Por Vida. The address is 2151 Logan Avenue, Studio R. And I don't have set hours. Usually I'm here in the weekends, Friday, Saturday, Sundays for open studio.
Yep.
But if you DM me and want to have a private viewing or whatever, just hit me up.
Yeah, definitely. And we'll put all the social media, your IG, your Twitter, all that on the show notes and on YouTube notes and all that stuff. So yeah, if you want to check him out, go look at his IG, Twitter, all that stuff. And if you're in San Diego, here in Barrio Logan, come through the Art Hub.
The Art Hub.
The Art Hub, yeah. And check it out. And it's really dope. And we'll have some more pictures of all that and whatnot. But thank you again.
No,
appreciate you.
Thank you guys.
Yes, sir. Yeah, and we'll see you on the next one.
Lemonade.
There you go. Hey.
Turn it off there.
Yeah.
You can turn it off.
Yeah, that's fine. How'd it go?
Good.
Yeah. Fun times. Yeah. Like I said, it's always a conversation.
Yeah.
That was fucking great.
Yeah.
That was fucking great.
Yeah.
I love that shit. I love your story, man. That shit's awesome.
Yeah.
I love the connection between the Lucha Libre too, because that was where I'm in there like cheer. You said that was a fucking awesome question, by the way. When you said that, bro, I was like struggle, dog.
It's funny because
salsa or ketchup.
Yeah. And I'm like, oh shit.